My name is Mike Orduno. I'm from RSI. I'm here to demonstrate the hopscotching method on an actual unit. So the first thing I want to do when I go to a customer's house, we want to turn the fan on. So I'm going to the thermostat and I'm turning the fan on. And the indoor fan did not come on. I'm inside the house and the fan did not come on. So I'm going to go from my R terminal to every single wire on the thermostat. And I'm looking for 24 volts on my thermostat. So I'm going to go from my R terminal to my G, and I'm reading 24 volts on my G. So now I got 24 at my thermostat. I'm going to jump on the roof. And I got, first thing I need to do, I got 24 on the thermostat. So I'm going to jump on the roof. I don't need to check line 1, line 2, because I got 24 on my thermostat. I don't need to check my transformer, high or low, because I got 24 in the thermostat. I don't need to check this unit terminal strip, which is on the other side of this little hole where your thermostat wire goes in, because I know there's 24 there because I got it in my house. That's why you want to check your thermostat to see if you got voltage before you jump on the roof, because it saves you a lot of steps to check. So I'm calling for fan. So on this schematic I got right here from the unit, I don't care about nothing except that G circuit, and all I care about is getting 24 to that coil. Once I get power to the coil, all that coil's job is to energize that switch. All that switch's job is to energize the load. So on this whole schematic, I don't care about nothing except that 24 volt coil and this circuit here. Now, if you get into this hopscotching method, no matter how big the schematic is or small it is, you ain't going to freak out. I don't care how big or small this schematic is, because all I care about is that G circuit and what it controls up here. So I'm going to go straight to my coil. And I'm looking for 24 volts on that coil because I'm calling for it inside the house. And I go to my coil and I'm reading 0 volts. That tells me it's incomplete. So I'm going to get my right hand. I'm going to get my little alligator clip if you have them. If you don't, but if you have those alligator clips, I'm going to screw it onto this and I'm going to clip it onto this common of the transformer, my return. So I'm going to put my probe right here because I don't have the alligator clips. I'm going to get my right hand. I'm on the roof. All this is on the roof inside the unit. That unit terminal strip is right on the other side of that hole where your thermostat wire goes in. And I'm going to touch that red T-stat wire. And I got 24. As long as I see 24, I'm good. All I care about is what wire? The green one, because I'm calling for fan. So I go to my green wire, and I got nothing. That tells me that my 24 is inside the house, but it didn't come back down. That tells me I got a broken green T-stat wire. So I look on my control board here, and I'm looking for green T-stat wire, which is right here. I push it, and I check what you fix. You always check what you fix. I go back to my green wire, and now I got 24. So I just fixed that wire. Now I'm going to go back to where I started. I go back to my coil, and it reads 0, incomplete. So I go back, and now I go to that green T-stat wire, and I go to my schematic. Your schematic is your roadmap. You need to look at your schematic. So I'm at this G circuit right here on the roof, and I'm reading 24. Now I'm going to follow that line, and it's going to take me to the indoor fan relay coil, which is that green wire you see right there. And I grab my meter, and I go back to my common. I'm on the roof, and I go to that green wire on my indoor fan relay. And I got nothing. That tells me I had 24 here. I lost it here. that tells me that line is broken. Remember what we talked about when we were teaching hopscotching on the whiteboard. The solid lines on the schematic are called line wires. Those are the wires that came with the unit. You see dotted lines on the schematic, those are called field wires. Wires that can be added to the unit or were added to the unit. So that green line is this wire that comes off this terminal strip, which is on the other side of the hole again, and it goes from here to here. So that tells me that that line is broken. So now I got to find my green line break, which is this button here. I push it. I got my probe still on this brown common wire, which is a return. I go to this green wire, and now I got 24. Now I go back and I check, and I got a complete circuit. I got 24 volts. What's that coil's job? It's only got one job: open and close switches. This coil only has one job: open and close that switch. So if I got power here, that switch should be closed. Remember, when you look at a schematic, don't forget the position those switches are in. When you see a switch that's open or you see a switch that's closed on the high side, that's the position that switch should be when there is no power applied to these coils. So when I don't have power applied to these coils, those switches that are above there that are closed should be closed. The switches that are open should be open. So I got power here, so that tells me that normally open switch up on there on the IFR should be closed. Let's find out if it's closed. Just because you got 24 to your coil doesn't tell you that that coil is good, because we got to check its job. Its job is to open and close switch. So let's check that switch. So you can do it two ways. You can go straight to the switch, and if you read 0, that tells you it should be closed. But like we talked about on the whiteboard, just because you read 0 across the switch doesn't mean it's closed. It should be closed. So if I go across this switch and I read 0, that tells me that switch should be closed. But if I got a broken wire, we talked about it the other day, if I got a broken wire between my switch and my motor, I'm going to read 0. If I got a broken wire between my line 1 and my switch, I'm going to read 0. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to hopscotch the high voltage. My switch, if you haven't noticed, my switch is on line 1. If that switch is closed, this should all be line 1. I'm going to put one probe on L2. If that switch is closed, I should read voltage on both sides. So here we go. I'm going to put one probe on L2. I'm going to go across the switch. I got nothing on one side. I got voltage on my other side. That tells me that coil did not do its job. It didn't close the switch, because line 1's only on one side, nothing on the other. And because I'm reading 24, it should have closed. So we got an indoor fan relay defective. So let's fix it. I push it. I go back to L2. I go across my switch. I got power on one side. I got power on the other side. That tells me that switch was bad. Now, my indoor fan motor's still not coming on. What's that coil's job? It's only got one job: energize the load. Remember, we talked about it the other day. Coil, switch, load. The only thing left on that circuit for me to check is my indoor blower motor. So I go straight to my motor. IFM. You're going to go from common to run. And I got voltage. You're going to go common to start. I got voltage. I got power to the load. The load don't work. It can't be anything else but a bad load. Indoor fan motor defective. So I got to find my indoor fan motor defective right here. Indoor fan just came on. Put it back on auto. That's called hopscotching, gentlemen. It is very easy. You got to have a system. You can't just be going all over the place like a chicken without a head. We teach you a hopscotching method. You got to have some kind of a procedure Otherwise, you're going to be out there checking stuff you shouldn't be checking and not checking stuff you will be checking, and you're going to get frustrated and you're going to get upset. So I hope you got this, and I hope you understood it. And the more you do this, the easier it gets and the faster you will get at doing this procedure. Thank you very much.